Hey, everybody. Let's get right into it. The sun has finally calmed down. Thank you, sun, for calming down. Maybe it was the solstice. Maybe it's because we're moving into fall and winter. But nonetheless, after last week's really active week of, CMEs and solar flares and coronal holes, this week has been pretty calm. Um, there were some remaining CMEs that were on the way. And so yesterday at about noon was a CME pack. So noon Central Standard Time. I'm down in Texas. And so whatever that time is for you, wherever you're watching this, you might have sort of felt a little wonky, a little different. I wasn't paying any attention. I checked out my morning solar weather, like, oh, it's coming sometime today. And then I started to have a weird noon to 2-ish kind of time where I was just meh. So if you felt a little meh yesterday around noon, that was probably it. Of course, whenever we have it was a minor hit, it didn't really cause that big of a geoelectric storm, so we didn't have a lot of the auroras coming down that far south. And so moving right along, you might have felt some tech slowdowns too, right? So your internet might have slowed down. You might have had a hard time connecting. That might have lasted into this morning, right? So this morning, I've noticed that my internet was still slow. And then, of course, for bodily triggers, not just the, oh, I felt meh. You could have felt triggers in autoimmune symptoms. You could have had a little bit of heart flutter. All those kinds of things were physical realities of what the sun does to us. Yeah, so the sun has calmed down, right? There's not a whole lot of really active sunspots. There's a group moving in towards the Earth facing side, but should be totally fine for the rest of the week. Maybe over the next couple of days, pay attention, watch the solar weather, see if anything launches at us. If you're sensitive like me, you're going to know, hey, something happened, or you're going to feel different, and you might just go online and look. And that moves us into today, Wednesday. We're still in a bunch of retrogrades, but it's all right. The Pluto retrograde is still going on just for another couple of weeks now, till the 10th of October. That's just about understanding the hidden parts of yourself. Some people call this shadow work, but shadow work is not necessarily broken stuff or bad stuff or things that we dislike about ourselves or a darker evil part side of ourselves. It's just the stuff that is on the inside, right? So you might sort of think of this as where the plant and the inside is the soil, right? So what are the minerals? What are the makeups of our emotional body, of our psychic body that are sort of causing the external sort of forces to happen? That's what you want to think about with shadow work mostly. Um, and so, yeah, Pluto is still giving us all that stuff. And so when you're doing that, right, you can sort of release some of your old hurts, right? So some of that stuff that's hidden, you might want to think of as sort of troubleshooting as a mechanic, right? There might be some things that are unseen that are just sort of ready to wear out or need replacement or need attention, right? Sometimes that's like an oil change. Sometimes that's like a replacement of a part, right? Sometimes that's the removal of something that's no longer necessary for an upgrade, right? Maybe your car doesn't need it anymore because you've upgraded to a certain different kind of thing that makes it function better. I'm not a mechanic, so I'll leave it at that. We're also in Saturn retrograde. Saturn retrograde is really about creating your authentic life, being authentic, but mostly around not necessarily relationships per se, but about work, career. What are you doing? Are you aligned? Is your job something that makes you happy? Is there something that makes you happy alongside of your job so that your job isn't extracting your happiness or your authentic self? This is also about being public with that, right? Here's who I am. Here's what I do, right? So for a lot of time when I first started doing this, when I left the church, it was a little bit like, hey, I'm doing this thing over here, right? But really being your authentic self is just as powerful, probably even more powerful than the energy of love, right? So of self-love and of love of others, right? This authentic, right? And so if you authentically or you love your authentic self, then that becomes a more powerful engine. So if you can be that out loud, right, that might be some of the hidden shadow stuff that you're bringing to light over this time. Pay attention to that. Neptune's still in retrograde. Oh wait, how long is Saturn's in retrograde till November the 3rd, and Neptune's still in retrograde. And that's really what's the point kind of energy, right? Spiritually, like why are we here as a planet? Why are you here in particular with this Neptune energy? Or yeah, Neptune. Um, and it's really sort of helping you be authentic spiritually, right? So that you're not a siloed individual where here's your regular life, here's your home life, here's your work life, here's your spiritual religious life, right? So a lot of times when I was in the church, we talked about being segmented, right? And so people would be religious on Sunday, and it wouldn't really transfer into Monday through Saturday, and then they would come get a reboot, right? So this is really the energy of Neptune is about sort of extending that into I have a spiritual approach to life in general. Leads us into also Chiron, which is in retrograde till the 26th of December. Um, Chiron is just what are the patterns that are causing all of our BS, right? A lot of times this could be childhood stuff, right? And this could not even be like traumatic patterns, right? This could be just sort of repetitive phrases that grandma or grandpa used to say. Little country music song in there. Grandma and grandpa would have said, right? And so you have this point of view about life that is sort of guiding you that you don't really know is limiting you or directing you in a way that is not helpful for you in this now, right? It's not that they were wrong, it's that it is limiting for you now. Um, so that's what's going on. Also, Uranus is in retrograde still right till the 27th of January. And that's really going to be about um, who are you despite external forces, right? So this is not who did your parents make you. This is not who did society make you. This is really who am I and how does that me connect to these things rather than how do I connect to those things so that I can move myself to fit rather than how can a true authentic self connect to that. So that's going to be till the 27th of January. And then finally, Jupiter is still in retrograde. Jupiter is really about regimenting, planning, rules, um, energy. A lot of times is around career. This is about really deciding that you're worth something, right? And so this is not only self-love, this is self-worth. Like you can love yourself and like, oh, but I've never done anything, I'm not worth anything. All that kind of energy can really be hindering to you, right? So this is really the energy of self-worth. And like I said, that's till December 31st. So you might be still working on all that stuff as we hear on Wednesday. Um, are moving into this, we're in the sun sign of Libra, right? And so all of this energy might be sort of moving into the bodily or the alchemical regions of Libra, right? We're in the sun sign, right? Zodiac sign. The sun is in Libra. Libra is about balance. Libra is also ruled by Venus, which is, love and money and all that fun stuff. Things that we find give us benefit in sort of joy. And so Libra is ruled by the kidneys, the adrenals, and the bladder, right? So don't be surprised if while you're hydrating and doing your regular routine that you might be going to the bathroom more often, right? And that you might sort of be having adrenal dumps, right? So where either there's some anxiety or some really down times when your adrenals sort of reboot. Also, if you're sort of in any of the negative aspects of all the stuff that's going on, right? If it's just affecting you and you're not processing it well at all, sometimes your adrenals will fail or burn out. That doesn't mean they break. That just sort of means that you can't get past the fatigue, right? And so you might want to find some adrenal supplements that can sort of help your adrenals recover from that. You can find those usually on the internet. If you have a nutritionist that you go see a nutritionist and ask about adrenal support vitamins. Yeah, so Libra is also really about the completion of the 7 months, and it sort of comes up in the next couple of days when I'm talking about that. But it's really the end of the vital organs, right? So this is while we start from Aries 7 months ago and get into Libra, it's really all of the vital organs which make us and help us function and work in this concert. We're sort of coming to the close, right? And so that sort of gets us into that winter time where we hibernate. And so pay attention to that. Mars today is particularly active in the sky. And so that Mars and Venus energy with the Libra um, is really going to sort of be a let's go right now. And then also, how can we take everybody with us kind of energy, and or let's make a move and then let's see how that goes. This is almost like looking both ways as you cross the road or you sort of move into this life that we're creating, right? Because we're never done creating. This isn't like something we're to get to completion to. This is going to be something that's a permanently expanding understanding of the self, expansion of our own consciousness, and the continued shifting of our reality to sort of meet our higher vibrations, right? So we're not coming to an end of anything. We're always just coming to the next step. So if you're hoping to get a grasp on all of the things that are going on in your life so that the world seems normal and calm again, like it was, pre 2015, then you're probably looking for something that's not going to occur. Thursday, moving on, the 28th, the moon will be closest all month to the Earth. So that's preparing us for the super full moon. Venus is really sort of dominant in the skies, is going to be helping you sort of feel good about these choices you're going to make, right? So sometimes we want to make choices, but we don't want to have that energy of, oh, but so and so's feelings are going to be hurt, or they've been so loyal to me, my job. How can I go out on my own kind of energy, right? This is the energy that Venus is going to be like, hey, it's okay. You need to choose yourself, and those things will work themselves out over time. And so that leads us into Friday, Saturday, which is the super full moon. And that full moon is going to be in Aries, right? So that's why I brought it up on the Wednesday time. That full moon in Aries, Aries is ruled by Mars, right? So this is Mars, Venus, sort of back and forth. And then this is also on Friday, Saturday, the full moon is leading us into eclipse season, right? So eclipse season starts next month, where we have solar and lunar eclipses. And so Aries is you got the moon energy, and then Libra with has Venus energy. And so it's going to feel like you're in that sort of stop and go traffic where you are in a hurry to get to where you need to go, right? And so you're going to have this Mars energy. You got to get there, got to get there, got to get there. And then you're going to have this Venus energy. Be safe on the road. Don't run anybody else off of it. But also, this sort of courteousness, right? You need to get to where you're going. And if somebody's acting like a fool on the road, then you need to get around them, right? They're swerving in your lane. So stop that. Another country music reference. You're welcome. So the energy of the full moon is really going to give you insight into what must I do no matter what it does, right? And that's hurt feelings. That's what can you not delay, right? There I am back in focus. What can you not delay, right? Can you really delay getting on a good diet? Can you really delay detoxing yourself from parasites? Can you really delay choosing yourself and being authentic, right? How much are you slowing down, and how much time are you wasting, right? So if you're into finances, right, this is like how much are you delaying the compound interest of doing what you want and investing in yourself by delaying that, right? And so it's kind of like if you save money and you've saved it for 20 years, it's worth this much. If you try to put in that same amount of money, but you start later, right, then you get really a fraction of that. This is how long can you be fractionated? How long can you only be a fraction of yourself? So that's going to be the energy, right? And that's why you're going to have that sort of stuck in traffic kind of energy. There is a destination you need to get to. It's just there's going to be obstacles, and then there's going to be other people's opinions, which you need to graciously take into account. Like, oh, that's really great. You feel that way. But the best me is the best for all of us. And so I'm going to have to contradict and or move past how it might make anybody else feel. So that's some people don't like making choices. And so that might feel like bad energy during the full moon, but it's good energy if you can just use it correctly. So go ahead and pay attention to that Friday and Saturday. October in that Venus energy is going to be is really also about finances and currency, right? So things of value. and you might have to sort of pay attention about compromising, right? um, this would be if there's an interaction that is a relationship that can't go away, right? Then there needs to be compromise where you can both win, right? This is about having a deal, not waiting to have a deal, right? So if you can negotiate things that are going to work out for both parties, then you should do that, right? So this isn't a time to be obstinate and go, oh well, I was going to choose myself, but right? This is make the compromise, make the choices, move forward. And that's going to be moving us into October, right? The whole month is really going to be like that because we're really going to have that sort of, I don't say conflict, but that sort of Venus and Mars energy, right? Coming against each other. And that really, uh, when we start to get into October, on the 30th, that is also the end of the Mercury retrograde shadow, right? So communication should get clearer. All that last little residual, I thought I figured that stuff out. Energy should be going away. And let's see, there was something here. Oh, yeah. Somewhere around the full moon and then the first part of October, there really should be this energy of unexpected relationships, right? That could be business relationships, coming out of nowhere. That could be friendships that all of a sudden turn to friendships that are more than friendships, right? There's just going to be something unexpected in the relationship stuff in the first part of like the first, second, and third. And when that sort of happens, it's also not going to be just unexpected, but it's also going to be out of the ordinary for what you would normally desire, right? So if you have a type or you have a desired outcome or relationship, this is going to not match that, but it's going to be beneficial and it's going to be unexpected and it's going to be good, right? So if you're looking for love or trying to start a new business, or you're really worried about going out and doing this new stuff and what people might think, you're going to run into somebody that's going to be a partner in that and or a relationship in that, which can sort of turn into love. It leads us into Sunday. The first cosmic kite still going to be lifting us up into October, right? So we're going to be ready to sort of fly into these eclipses. The second is a cosmic pentagon, which is just 5 planets rather than the 4. And then October the 3rd, which is Tuesday of next week, which gets us to the end of our week that I usually talk about. October 3rd is a Master 11 day, right? So if for whatever reason you've delayed all this action until the 3rd, or it's just built up and can't be held back anymore, October the 3rd is a day to sort of choose, right? And so you'll sort of be in charge. You'll sort of master your mind, your emotions on that day. 11 days and 22 days are really those days where we can make choices like that. And that's just the numerology of you add up the date and then in the days and then numbers, and it all comes to 11. And then just a little bit of conspiracy here at the end of the broadcast. Next Wednesday, the 4th, you'll hear a lot of chatter online about the emergency broadcasting system is going to send us all out of text and test a broadcasting system, and it's going to do something weird to our phones. I'm not worried about it. I'll probably have my phone right next to me anyway on the 4th. Right. And so, yeah, pay attention to things that are sort of sent out in as a blanket statement, right? If we're these sovereign beings and these individuals, right, then these larger things really can't affect the individual, right? They will probably affect some small groups of people who want it to affect them, right? So belief affects reality. So I wouldn't really worry about the emergency broadcasting system on the 4th. But hey, what do I know? I'm just paying attention to the ether all the time and a classy psychic. That's, I think, the report. If you're having trouble with any of this stuff, of course, I'm here in the shop almost every day. Not really. Wednesday through Wednesday through Saturday, I'm here. And then, of course, if you want to book an appointment, I can come in on Mondays and Tuesdays, and we can work on clearing this energy, aligning this energy, deleting old thought patterns, right? All this stuff, all the shadow work stuff, we can work with that. And of course, if you're sort of having problems just regulating in daily life, we can even do a breath work session. I do those one-on-one. You can find those on the website at interventionscrystals.com, and we can come in and work on that. You can still, for the one-on-ones, you can bring a friend, right? So it can be 1-on-2, and we can really work on things that are specific to what you need to be working on, and sort of guide yourself through that. Of course, when I'm here in the shop and when we're open for retail, you can come and buy supplies. If you need to get some candles or some incense for ritual, if you need some crystals to sort of help maintain your vibe or even set a grid in your house to sort of do that, and even gather some crystals that might even help filter out EMFs and stuff like that, which would be, like Wi-Fi and cell phone broadcasts and fun stuff like that. I have all that stuff in the shop, and I can sort of guide you on how I would use that and how it could be effective, and then you could try that out for yourself. I think that's all I'm going to talk about. I don't know how long I've been talking. It feels like it's been forever. I don't want to keep you. I hope you have a great rest of the week. Until next time, this has been Jason here at New Dimensions Crystals and Reiki in downtown Brenham, and we will see you next time. Many blessings.